Shots fired! Shots fired!
What's up guys, Ninja Grim here. So everyone seems to be excited about games that are up and coming with this new body cam feel, and rightfully so. It's new, it looks visually impressive, and it makes combat feel more realistic and visceral. So along my journey of modding Fallout 4, I wanted to see if I could recreate this feeling in-game. Now, this isn't a mod per se, it's more of a collection of mods that I've personally tweaked to give the look of a body cam. The idea came to me when I installed a mod called Uneducated Shooter. This mod allows you to lean and peek from games like Escape from Tarkov, Rainbow Six Siege, and DayZ, but it also adds weapon inertia, which is the key to making this look and feel like a body cam. Now, vanilla Fallout 4 has little to no weapon inertia at all, and this mod adds that weapon movement to make it feel like it has weight, so it sways back and forth when you rotate the camera. Then, all of a sudden, it came to me. What if I add a negative value to the weapon inertia? Will the gun move in the opposite direction? And sure enough, it did. So then I was on a quest to really make this work and fine-tune the feel to get it to as close as possible to what we've seen in other games with a similar feel. And this is what I came up with. But before we get into that, I just recently hit 100 subscribers, and I'd like to thank everyone who enjoys my content and who have supported me over the last 6 months. This has been a real boost in confidence and morale for myself, and I can't thank you all enough, so let's keep it going. If you're new here, subscribe. I'd like to quit my day job. Pendejo. And if you liked the video, consider leaving a comment and letting me know your experience with these mods, and if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to walk you through anything that I may have missed in this video. And now back to the mods. So now I'll go ahead and go through all the mods necessary to make this possible, then how to fine-tune and adjust certain settings to get it how you want, also some of my personal preferences that I like to change to help get this looking as good as it can. Last, I'll talk about some of the downsides of doing this, as there's always something that can go wrong with editing or modding a game. For all the mods you see in this video, I use Nexus Mods and their mod manager, Vortex. So head on over to Nexus Mods, make an account, and download their mod manager, Vortex. This won't be a tutorial on how to get all this going. There are plenty of videos out there that help with this very thing. So I'll leave a link in the description to a video that should help you get started, along with another video that shows you how to install the Fallout 4 script extender, which is absolutely necessary to make this work. Feel free to pause the video every time a new mod comes up, then install, then you can resume the video for the next step. First up is Address Library for Fallout 4 script extender plugins. I'm not sure what this actually does. It says it provides version-independent IDs used for dynamically relocating offsets at runtime. And I have no idea what that means, but it is required for a few of the mods. Next up is Mod Configuration Menu. This will allow you to tweak some settings in-game that support MCM. And next we have Uneducated Shooter. This mod will add the lean and peek feature as well as weapon inertia. And Custom Camera. This will allow you to independently change the FOV of first person and third person, and you can do this on the fly in the MCM. Last up is Simple Impact. This is a must-have for me. It adds a little bit more weapon recoil and screen shake for a more immersive feel. This also removes the recoil auto recovery, so when you shoot in vanilla Fallout, the weapon will automatically move back down to the center of the screen, which makes recoil control a bit wonky, and this fixes that. Now that you have all the mods installed, go ahead and launch the game through the Fallout 4 script extender and make sure Custom Camera are in the MCM. You can check this by pressing the escape key, and you should see the option at the top of the menu for the MCM. Now we get to the part of the video which may be a little more advanced and somewhat intimidating to some users. We need to locate some INI files so we can adjust some settings. We're only going to need to find 2 file locations which happen to be in the same place. One for Simple Impact and one for Uneducated Shooter. After we change some settings, everything else can be done in-game. So let's take a look at where we can find these INI files. First, right-click on Fallout 4, I'm using Steam, and click Manage. Then scroll over to Browse Local Files. Here you will find the main directory for Fallout 4. This is where you can find the Fallout 4 script extender launcher and Fallout 4's exe. Scroll to the top and you will find a file called Data. Double-click that, and you will find a file labeled F4SE. Open that, and then double-click on Plugins. And here you will find the files you are looking for. If you don't find them here, something went wrong during the installation process, and I urge you to reference the mod page and see if there's any specific steps you may have missed. I can say that I did not have any issues installing these. So here you can find both files we're looking for, Simple Impact and Uneducated Shooter. First, let's open Simple Impact. You want to make sure you're opening the configuration settings and not the application extension. Just look for Simple Impact and not Simple Impact DLL. So open Simple Impact and it should bring up a notepad for you to customize. Now this may look a little intimidating to some, but I can assure you this is very simple. So this mod comes with more than just screen shake and increased recoil. It also has hit marker sounds and kill quotes. Now, I didn't really want some of these, so these are my personal preferences, but you're more than welcome to fiddle around with this to make it to your liking. If you go to the mod page and scroll down, it'll give you a detailed legend of what these values change. I recommend having this page open while editing this INI. The main feature is all the way down the INI called Extra and Disable Aim Recovery. By default, it may be set to 0, but I changed this to a 1 as this will make recoil control more consistent. Now go to the top, click File, and Save. Now you can close out the notepad. Next we will open Uneducated Shooter. Again, open the configuration, not the application setting. Now this takes a lot of time to get right, so if you want the gun to handle the way it does in the video, you can just copy my settings and save. But I'd like to take the time to explain exactly what these settings do so you'll have a better understanding on what you're actually changing. We are only going to be dealing with the first section, which is called Inertia. The first two values are rotLimitX and Y. These settings control how far the gun will sway from left to right and up and down. So a very high setting will sometimes move the gun so far left and right, or up and down, it may become off screen. Remember, the X-axis is for left and right, and the Y-axis is for up and down. I set mine to 28 respectively. Next is rotDivY, X and Y. This controls the intensity of the weapon inertia. If the value was set to 0, this will basically act like vanilla. Now I applied a negative value because I wanted the gun inertia to move with the camera instead of away from it. This was set to -7 respectively. Next is rotDivY, X and Y for ADS. This is the same setting as the previous, but independently for aiming down sights, and this was set at -6 respectively. Next is rotReturnDiv. This setting changes the speed in which the gun moves back to its original state. I set this value to 0, which allows the longest time to pass for the gun to return back to center. Last is rotDisableInADS. I believe this was set to 1 by default, but I set this to 0 because I wanted the inertia to take place while in ADS. Now you can go to File and Save, and we're almost done. Head back into the game, and you should notice the gun moving quite differently as you move the camera. So now I'd like to add some personal preferences to aid in the look and feel of the game, and this is for the FOV. In Fallout 4, there's actually two FOVs, one for the game world and one for the player. Now it's important to get the combination of these two FOVs working together to give yourself the best experience, and this is where custom camera comes into play. First, we want to set the player FOV. You can do this by pressing the tilde key located at the top left of your keyboard, which will open the console, then type FOV 115 and press enter. Now this is just a starting point, just to see how things look. And you'll notice that the game looks more zoomed out, but this is just to push the gun away further from the character. Next, you can press escape and open the MCM and click on custom camera. Scroll down to miscellaneous, and here you can change the game FOV. Now I like to use a lower FOV than normal because I want to swipe the camera more often to get that feel of the body cam. So I play at a lower FOV and a higher sensitivity. This may feel weird at first, but I've gotten used to it over time. If you play at a high FOV, the weapon inertia is less noticeable. Now go down to Profile and save your settings. Now when you go back in game, you'll notice the player FOV remains the same, but the world FOV has come a bit closer. You can tweak these values back and forth to get something that's more comfortable for you. And that's basically it. Now you can play like normal and fine-tune as you go, either with the FOV or the INI files we discussed earlier. Now let's talk about some of the problems that may occur while doing this. When setting the player FOV too high by using the tilde key, you can see more of your arms in the gun, but it also pushes out your Pip-Boy to the point where it's unreadable. Now there may be some mods out there that can alleviate this problem, but I haven't found any, so try not to set it too high. Next is the world FOV. If you set the world FOV too low, you'll notice that terminals are way too close. This isn't as bad as the Pip-Boy FOV, but it is something to note. Next is all these settings combined. Sometimes changing one value can have an effect on another, like setting the world FOV too low. You'll notice that you have way too much weapon inertia. All the settings we changed in the Uneducated Shooter mod was done using 115 player FOV and 75 world FOV, so you may have to go back and forth to get this exactly right. Next is third person. For obvious reasons, this doesn't work in third person, but you'll notice when you go into third person, it'll be zoomed out after you've changed the FOV by opening the console with the tilde key. But this can easily be fixed by pressing escape and going into the MCM and opening the custom camera. Going to profile and loading the profile you saved from earlier. This will override the third person camera affected by the console command FOV change. Last is the guns themselves. This will work for all guns in the game, even modded guns that were added to the vanilla game. But each gun has its own limit of inertia, meaning one gun might slightly move and another will move wildly. So it's important to find a gun that has the most movement on screen and fine-tune from there. I also want to mention gun behavior. Now, even though the gun moves away from the crosshair, the gun still shoots to the center of the screen. So when you move the gun to the side and pull the trigger, instinctually you may think that the bullet will follow the line of sight of the gun, but it doesn't. It always shoots at the center of the screen, as you can see here. This takes a while to get used to, and there is no real workaround for this, but it is what it is. Well, that's basically it. Is this perfect? No. Does it look exactly like the games that implement this feature? No. But I think it's as close as it comes without writing a whole mod myself to do this, which I'm not capable of doing. Maybe someone will see this video and can point it out to true modders in the right direction. If you like these mods, please endorse by clicking the thumbs up on their respective mod pages. I'd like to take this time to thank the modders who put in tireless work to make this all possible. First up is Fudgy Duff for address library for F4SE plugins. Registrator 2000 for mod configuration menu, Jirari for uneducated shooter and simple impact, and finally Quiddix for custom camera. If you'd like to see these mods in action, along with other mods you may have noticed in this video, I'll be streaming on Twitch at the Ninja Grim. If you made it this far in the video, I'd now like to thank you for watching. Remember, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and we'll see if I can help you out. I'm the Ninja Grim for NGRT, and I'm gone.